still no flying clouds
flying
for
clouds.
AZ. So AZ is going to have their entire MPL SG journey with no flying clouds, I assume. As we move on over to the drafting stage, once again between AZ and Stallions. With AZ on the first pick, first ban, and Stallions on the second pick, second ban.
Sorry, I'm just drinking my IT here, and now on the other side, Team Stallions SG still going to ban out here the CC and the actual. I think same thing. This is the same bans that we are seeing here on Team Stallions SG. Also on the side of AZ. Nothing new here.
So, in the previous ban, I think in the previous ban, the Alice was included from Stallions' ban. So, they actually brought forward that Angela for a tad little bit, right? If whether they want to go for a third ban, with the third ban onto Alice, that remains to be a question. Yep, still is going to be that case, right? So, Jusin, Yi Sun Shin, they are both currently available. If they want to go for a Kimi, that can be a situation as well.
So you called it, actually you called this one abstract after the post match here announcement that you had. What if they use the Shin instead, and now it is going to be the response coming in from Team Stallions here, still the Grok, and now this time around it is going to be the Lancelot here. Now the Assassin coming in from Team Stallions and looking forward for the performance of Bray here. On the other side, Zushin is still pretty much open. It will be taken here. The Gadakacha as well for the side of AZ. Now they do have the marksman here into their hands, so Harad is pretty much open as well. Great to control the gold lane here. Esmeralda also for the side of Team Stallions if they are going to counter this.
Still very area denial kind of play from AZ. Whenever we look at Gadokacha as well as the Jusin, we would like to assume that they want to play area denial, right? So coming in with the Yves, although I am not a very big fan of snap picking on the Yves because we don't have a Harif to really double down on that just yet. Because Gadokacha always have an answer to a Yves because the taunt is likely the only thing that can snap the Yves out of the RWM. Any form of knockups, any form of stun does not snap her out of RWM. It only delays it.
Correct. Actually, that's the one I mentioned a while ago. I'm concerned for the E-pick when you are up against Gadokacha. However, during the performance of Team Stallions SG on the game 1, Eve RWM actually has been used to stop the escape from AZ. We have seen Grok, Lancelot right now here on the other side. I'm not sure if Marcus is going to be used here again, but so far, Khalid is also one to be picked here if they want to be very aggressive as well. The burst damage can be badly needed here. Eve's utility here will be used only to stop the escape here from against the AZ. They want still to be very aggressive here, Abstract.
I think that what AZ needs are bruisers. Because essentially, Yi Sun Shin is someone that will want to play Snowball as well. It would kind of depend entirely on how they want to play for their emblems. But the side laners can definitely be fighters just so that they can funnel all these kills over to Yi Sun Shin. However, I think that that is putting a lot of hopes and literally putting all their eggs in one basket. So as much as possible, I would still want to believe that AZ wants to play Marksman Gold Lane with the Yi Sun Shin.
Okay, just to have an insurance, but remember, it's really difficult, especially for a hyper-aggressive team like Team Stallions SG here. If I may, the Ruby is pretty much open here. I think they lack really the crowd control here for the side of AZ. They want to actually control this Lancelot as well. If they want to go for a double fighter here, for me, the Ruby is one. Lunox also is pretty good here if they want to have a double down when it comes to the damage as well.
They needed either a space creator or someone with catch potential, right? So in the previous game, they went for a Uranus for that space creator, but I don't think that they would go for that again. They are definitely lacking in some of the damage in the early phases of the game. So picking up a Granger is also going to be a good idea. So it can actually pivot to either the Yi Sun Shin or the Granger when it comes down to that bruising. Okay, never mind. That is stolen right over to STS.
Speaking of which, Lucian Curie here, the last, of course,
I guess Bruno. I still want to see a marksman from the side of AZ. Yeah. Unless, okay, to be fair, STS, they it's not an entire necessity for them to play very aggressive. They can kind of scale over to later stages as well. They wouldn't need to double down onto early game fights. So even for AC, they don't have to go that crazy. I think that they can still go for Irithel.
Win on the other side here. That's the crowd control that we are looking forward here for the side of AZ. Is it an Irithel pick here? Bane? They want to go for Bane? Nope, it's Moskov. Wow, it's been a long time here. I mean, not usually we see a Moskov here, but it is going to be a great matchup against a Granger as well. So Team Stallions, crowd control wise, they have the Grok. AoE, they have the RWM. Burst here with Lancelot as well. Scaling here with a Granger. So for the EXP, Lapu-Lapu has been taken out here already. Team Stallions, if they want to double down with their heavy aggressiveness in the early stage of the game, they need some damage dealer here.
I'll say that Moskov is great to cover their bases when it comes down to cross-map plays. It's something that can work up for them.
I was about to say.
Not the Martyrs again.
Well,
Not the Martyrs again.
Apparently it is. So there you go. Double down with the damage. Why not? And then we have seen here again the snowball potential coming in from Martis. If he has so many kills, then it can do so with that control. This is a pretty good actually combination I have witnessed so far in the game 1 with a Grok and Martis combo. With the burst coming in from Martis and the utility control coming in from Grok. Remember, Grok also packs a punch in the early stages of the game.
I don't know about this. Once again, this is a very greedy lineup from Team Stallions, and they don't even have to play that greedily. Against a lineup that wants to play for late stages of the game, technically speaking, yeah, sure. That means that they have less people to really call to arms in the early stages, because early game, in terms of damage dealer, it really only is Guinevere and the Yi Sun-shin. And I wouldn't even consider Yi Sun-shin as a force to be reckoned with, because it's still very early.
Yeah, snowball hero here as well. Unlike of course, the draft that we witnessed in the game 1, that there has Grok, the finishing play can be on the Yi Sun-shin, but here on Absolute Zero, with his the rest of the lineup rather, is it enough though to have the last kill coming in from the side of Fate QT? Still, Team Stallions SG double downs of being aggressive here. Remember, Lancelot also, the Horn Pros, can deal a lot of damage. I do believe the play style from the side of Team Stallions SG will be the same here. Remember how they sacrificed the gold lane just to rotate, just to have the kills? I think this is going to be the same story for the side of Team Stallions.
I think the only difference is that Lancelot is slightly slower in the jungle. So there's not much you can do at level 1 aside from Thunder Rose. But, you know, I think that there is still a possibility that Absolute Zero can be a little bit faster, because Team Stallions, they generally want to focus a lot more onto the mid lane because of the mid lane priority, as we can see right over here. Luigi almost finding himself almost taken down with Roy and losing QT, which they're still very healthy.
Yep, they're going to reset here, but it only shows here that the power when it comes to early stage of game, it is really an advantage here for the side of Team Stallions SG. Look at Lichen Cutie and non-stop rotation. Same thing that we have witnessed in the game 1. And now Bray, we're going to follow up here as well. They want to control the map here as early as possible. And look at the rotations right now coming in from Team Stallions here. Double down on the bottom.
It does seem as though we are going to be looking at Diablo that reaches level 4 very soon. A lot of these heroes can be bruised down to critical HP to really allow Diablo to go crazy, especially since he's currently playing with the Killing Spree emblem. I'll say the same thing for Fate Cutie as well as Bray. So there are quite a few heroes here that want to play on Snowball.
Yep. And speaking of Snowball here, Team Stallions SG managed to take the first neutral objective. Bucci!
I don't think that Bucci is going to get away from all of this.
Oh,
it doesn't even have...
around?
Oh, wait.
Oh.
As I said before, it's not going to help too much when it comes down to the pickoff. The RWM is only going to be paused, and it doesn't even have to Crimson Beacon at that point. Well, in the meantime, up in the top lane, we do have a little bit of a trade-off, as Rensa even lost his life over to Fate Cutie. So that is great coming in from Absolute Zero. enables Fake Cutie with that early game snowball that he wants, and also slowing down the farm of Renza.
Yeah, slowing down, and this is actually a better performance here coming to Absolute Zero, but there's going to be team fight here.
As now Lucid Cutie goes straight in with the wall charge, sends Bougie up into the sky, and then of course the SOD that lands, but that's not going to do anything for either one of these two teams.
So far right now, Absolute Zero is taking their great time here, just fending off this aggressive play coming in from Team Stallions SG. I think it's better now that you do have the natural marksman here on the side of Absolute Zero. This progressiveness that we are witnessing here in the early stage of the game is actually good for Absolute Zero. Unlike for the Game 1 comparison here, it was total destruction here and there. They have become reactive here, and Salas,
very close, not gonna lie, so that's kind of scary, but okay.
Still survives.
Still survives. He's gonna be fine.
He is, and Bucci is there also to give the protection, but look at Team Stallions here. Not gonna leave the area, trying to proceed on the jungle invasion, and look at the gold plates burning as well. Renza, against Salas.
Oh my god, and here's what he lands. Never mind, Roy comes into play! As he manages to drop the RWM right on the tip, and of course, with Salas right onto the edge as well.
Oh,
that
man.
is a SOD into death, right for Salas.
And a great counterplay for the side of Team Stallions SG. It feels like, Nomad!
That's not gonna be over, as we do have Nomad. It pops off the Revitalize. He's gonna stay alive for a little while longer, but Fake Cutie proxies right into the way, gets a kill down to Renza, puts himself at jeopardy, and almost putting Nomad in a very tough spot as well.
Okay, despite, of course, that incredible play coming in from Team Stallions SG, remember, Fake Cutie has now 2 kills in a row, and this is very good for the jungler for the side of Absolute Zero. Now, Action still on top!
How is Roy still alive after all of that? Well, I'm not too sure, but he did manage to get a pretty good Void Crystal Blast right onto the opponents. And of course, that is going to be the split boost that we want. But the amount of damage from Bray is not something that should be scoffed at, because Nomad as a tank is taking quite a bit.
Yep, and I love the attention being given from the side of Team Stallions SG on the top side while they push on the bottom as well. Map control wise, macro plays here from the side of Team Stallions SG. Absolute Zero, even though they hold their ground here, still when it comes to macro plays, they have been outplayed.
We still got a little bit more to go until the third turtle comes into fray. Absolute Zero currently with 3.3 thousand gold deficit. That is going to be a little bit of a problem. However, Lucid Cutie now finds himself taunted down by Nomad, but that's a 4-man wall charge. Puts everyone right into RWM, but Nomad re-engages himself right into the face of Roy. However, he does not have the taunt. As such, is not going to pull Roy out of RWM, thus sacrificing himself.
Oh man, that's the beauty of the real-world manipulation there. It's not going to be easy for Absolute Zero to actually respond and reinforce the team fight there. It slows them down, and look at the transition here from Team Stallions going into the mid-team fight.
As they loses out the T1 turret in the middle lane, Absolute Zero had to concede that and give Team Stallions the go.
Oh man, still no turrets being destroyed here against the side of Team Stallions SG. Same storyline here from the Game 1. This is how aggressive Team Stallions is. They're not only controlling those kills, they're controlling the map here, totally here. Even the minion waves here is being controlled. Oh, the invasion break.
There's a better execution, did not land, but never mind, because the damage is just a little bit too much for them to handle. Diablo was hoping that he will be able to get the dunk down over to the side of Fake Cutie, only to be pulled back coming in from Bougie. More than enough for Fake Cutie to pick up that kill.
Oh man, that is unfortunate there for Diablo. However, space created. Still, that is going to be a perfect turtle takedown for the side of Team Stallions SG. Early game domination still into their favor. 3-for-3 when it comes to score kills, but look at the gold deficit here. Team Stallions SG economy here is way up, and they are now controlling the bottom side this time around.
Kind of crazy how we're looking at 4,700 gold difference, while Team Stallions, no one has a bounty on their head because they don't have anyone that have consecutive kills.
Yep.
Diablo has one, but Bray doesn't have anything. This is a team that runs on Snowball, and normally the Snowball runs onto kill engines. But that's not the case for Team Stallions because they have played the macro game well enough and far enough to really choke out Absolute Zero with any form of farm. So
Exactly.
AZ, they are not farmed up at all. They lost turrets, well, they didn't pick up any turrets at all. So that is actually kind of a tough one, which actually puts Absolute Zero in a really tough spot even for this upcoming fight, because this is essentially 5v3, but they can't do anything to Team Stallions.
Cannot do anything here, Abstract. They have becoming reactive once again here, and the map is getting smaller here for the side of Absolute Zero. And this is the one of the victory conditions coming in from the hyper-aggressive draft. Team Stallions SG. They go for the kill, they go for the control, they go for aggressiveness here, cutting off the farming capability against Absolute Zero. And everything you go here, if you're on the side of Absolute Zero, there's Team Stallions SG waiting for you, waiting for the prey, waiting for the kill.
6,000 gold for the Lancelot and 6.2 thousand gold for the Granger.
Oh my.
We are definitely looking at quite a bit of these gold that has managed to be funneled over to the right members of Team Stallions SG, which definitely puts the snowball potential in a really good spot. So Renza, more or less, is already pretty crazy, right? I would like to believe, or rather, we're just gonna give the benefit of doubt that Renza has get one kill into the Sky Piercer. The more that Renza picks up kills, the easier it is for Team Stallions to actually end the game.
Yeah, correct. But this time around, I think they are prioritizing the map control, objective takedowns instead of the kills. And it's still going to be in their favor here. Absolute Zero taking their time to go for the itemizations, but it's just very difficult for them. Team Stallions, pressure is everywhere here. Mid, bots, and now invasion of the jungle as well. How can you farm if you are on the side of Absolute Zero here? And now look at the Moscow on the top side. This is the best that they can do.
Yep, that's a cross-map plays that we want to see out of that Moskov. You are able to just... Oh! First of execution lands right onto Salas, stops his teleportation, but it doesn't seem like Salas is going to be going down like a beating dog. In fact, he outplays against Bray in the 1v1 scenario.
Oh man, I love that. If I'm speechless. If I'm gonna be that person who kills Bray, I'll be happy, even though I lost the game, bro.
That is unfortunate, we gotta have to say. However, that's not gonna be too big of a deal, or that's not gonna be too big of a pain for Team Stallions, as they still have got their win condition in the name of Renza, as they manage to land the Sonata onto Vendetta once, as they now runs themselves through into the base of Team Stallions.
Oh no, Holy Shield is still there, but the Lord is still standing, going for the push.
The spiraling trident lands onto the
AOG.
T3. The AOG lands, but it's not too much. Roy all the way right in front. What is the kind of aggressive angle from Roy? They managed to block off the escape route coming from Bougie, allowing the Void Blast to land right on top of him. However, Roy himself will go down, credited over to Salas. It's going to be a 2v3 with Lucy Cutie that doesn't have a lot of HP to play around with. As such, Team Stallion, they can re-push in the middle lane and take down that whole defense, but that is very likely the most that they can do.
Oh man, I love the Nature's Barrier there coming in from Lucian Cutie on the top side, but then again, Vendetta trying to hold his ground here.
Oh! Punished for a poke.
Ouch. A big ouch indeed. Bray here on his vengeance, going for the kill, and now 2 inhibitor charts gone once again with that baby Lord. Oh my goodness, Team Stallions SG here, now controlling the game. And this is the first time we are seeing now Absolute Zero taking down turrets here. Now one of the bots, one at the top. But this is still insignificant in how Team Stallions right now controlling the minion waves, controlling the pressure across the map here.
That's the cross-map play that we want to see from Absolute Zero. But however, that doesn't mean that Team Stallions does not have an answer to this, because they do have the Lancelot. Lancelot is someone that can play cross-map, but as we saw previously, it was, of course, a mistake from Bray, thinking that, there is a possibility that he will be able to win against Renza. or rather against Salas. At that point in time, supposedly, but of course mistakes were made and there were no creep wave allowing him to bounce around with the puncture. And remember, when it comes down to Lancelot, he gains a lot of damage the more punctures or the more dashes he does. And it increases exponentially. But speaking of exponentially, this is also going to be a point in time where Team Stallions might be able to get a lot more exponential gold because of the fact that Absolute Zero tries to go over aggressive, trying to take the priority of the Lord. As such, losing 2 members, putting Nomad Attack now in the middle lane in a tough spot. The rest of the members from Team Stallions, they are now putting themselves right in the face of the Lord, takes that down. While in the meantime, we have got Salas that pushes down the bottom lane tier 2.
Yeah, that's the best that they can do here. They made a call there, Abstract. They want to go for the Lord to take the attention of Team Stallions SG so that Salas can go for a split push on the bottom side of the map. Unfortunately, space created. Unfortunately, of course, Inhibitor is still standing. Look at the damage here.
Nomad!
Ouch again.
Executed right before the Lord prances onto the battlefield. With that, the Lord now is going to be running down the middle lane, pillaging everything of what Absolute Zero is looking out to do. They have to go for the defense, but unfortunately they do not have their frontliners at all anymore. As such, this is going to be Team Stallions trying to look for the entire victory. And now Absolute Zero, they don't have a lot onto their core at all. As such, Absolute Zero exits from the season.
And Team Stallions SG proceed into the next stage of the playoffs. OMG, sweep game against AZ this time around. A 2-2-0, aggressive play, part of the champion team. And now, unfortunately, for Absolute Zero, their run ends here.
It is a very tough pill to chew. Over to anyone that have been watching Absolute Zero's gameplays and of course their progress throughout the entire season, even from Season 9 all the way to Season 10. It is unfortunate, but unfortunately, one team has to go in the end of the day. And Absolute Zero, they've done tremendously well throughout the seasons. They managed to secure themselves a spot into MPL SG Season 10. And unfortunately, now they are out of the competition. But that doesn't mean that we are not going to see them again next season, right? They may have lost their seed, but there is still such thing as a challenger qualifiers that they can come back again.
For sure, Abstract, for sure. I mean, Absolute Zero of what they have shown us on the regular season and here at the playoffs as well doesn't discount them that they are not one of the teams they're being looking forward for the next season here. And now, congratulations, of course, to Team Stallions SG, and they will be facing Team Evil later on in our 3rd match of the series. That's the number one team, rather, for our regular season. That is Team Evil. So that is a big challenge for Team Evil. No, big challenge for Team Stallions SG, rather.
To be fair, looking at track record coming in from Team Stallions SG, it definitely is a problem, right? They are definitely a problem. All right, not again. MVP of the game, MVP of the series goes to Roy with 2 Eve games. This time with 5:1:7 with a total kill participation of 86%.
All right, I have doubts with the Eve, but again, Roy gives me the message that it is very effective indeed here. Even though with the enemy having a Garukacha for the pure counter here, doesn't care. Man, incredibly good gameplay here. His RWM really cuts off the reinforcements when it comes to team fights, cuts off here the escape mechanism coming in from Absolute Zero as well. Just incredibly good synergy for those aggressive heroes like Grok and Martis.
Yep, I gotta have to say, Roy's RWM essentially plays a very important role as the cosmic spacer of the team. Just literally creates a black hole, a void of which, just to ensure that Absolute Zero either gets sucked into the epicenter or just gets completely eliminated out of the fight by no means of entrance.
Man, that guy. And now, here are the stats that we have seen early stages of the game. I do believe Absolute Zero held their ground there. Not too much mistakes here. They want, actually, with this draft, snowball their way into the later stage of the game. But Team Stallions SG here being aggressive, even though without those kills, they managed to take down early turrets, managed to secure the turtle. As you can see here, all of the neutral objectives is really into their favor. Even invading the area of Absolute Zero here is also a nuisance here for the side of Absolute Zero to scale.
Yep.
It is very difficult to find areas or where or ways for them to snowball into this game.
I think one of course, the main ideas of this game is mid-lane control. As Absolute Zero, they played to the Juicin for both of the games, and unfortunately, both of the games, they lose mid-lane priority because the mid-lane matchup never changed. And that is the same thing for both games. And that is kind of a difficult pill to chew, whereby you hope that the entire game will change, even when you're pulling off the same core system in the middle lane. And generally, lane priority in the middle lane is so important in influencing your side lanes. And I would say that sticking to the guns for Absolute Zero was definitely not the best of the ideas in hoping that it changes the entire course of the game.
Yeah, I see also how they become reactive as the game progresses here against the side of Team Stallions SG, because the rotations are insane also. Not only the mid lane priority, I give credit to the side of Roy, but how cohesive this Team Stallions SG is when it comes to their rotations, when it comes to their aggressive plays, invasion here. If ever Lucian Cutie is in a tight spot, there is Roy on the back lines to go for RWM to save Lucian Cutie's aggressiveness. Or there's also Jablo just suddenly going for the skills here with a follow-up coming from Bray on his Lancelot as well.
And of course, understandably, we are just expecting that Team Stallions, the fact that they managed to get themselves the first win of course, the playoff is a big deal. It's a very big deal.
Yeah, let us see here the stats as well coming in from the team. And it is going to be Roy still having the highest damage dealt here. That RWM is just too incredible as well. The tight spots here, especially saving the teammate as well when it comes to major team fights as well. RWM is incredibly good as well. And on the other side, Absolute Zero, unfortunately for them here, is not enough with a snowball kind of team.
Oh. We, of course, it's still very difficult for me to say this, but seeing Absolute Zero bow out of the tournament, I really appreciate the time and, of course, the effort that they have put into MPL SG thus far. I look forward to seeing Absolute Zero once again for the next season and, of course, coming back stronger. As we move on to the next chapter for Team Stallions SG, what is the kind of story that they are going to write for us? Are they going to rewrite history of, bring down the Titans? Because this could very likely be a possible thing.
Yeah, let us see the highlights later on of our series here. Abstract, as you can see, Absolute Zero here trying their best also on that second game, but on the first game, as you can see, it just total destruction here. They are into the hands of Team Stallions SG. Whatever Team Stallions SG is doing, just incredible. Good.
Of course, let's throw it right into the highlights of the game between Absolute Zero and Team Stallions.